Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, people, friends and fam, folks from around the world? Mr. McKay is in the building. So is my buddy Brian Montgomery, Don, Dr. Falconium. I think we should all have like superhero stock market trading names. That makes sense. Mike says, love and trading. So the real life trading family. Absolutely. Rob says, hello, peoples. What's up, bud? Let me get this pulled up really quick. Move this over here. Mila says, happy Monday. Absolutely. What a grand day. Let's talk about it. This is the weekly chart on the SPY. Pretty big deal, in my opinion, that we gapped today. I mean, there were a lot of good moves out there as well. Tons and tons of good moves out there on the SPY. So I love this, honestly. I think we're going to go higher. We've been saying that. We've been talking about it. It still seems that's going to be the case. So here's the daily chart. And obviously, this is a retest gap. So on the weekly options newsletter, this is definitely a contender for something like this. And again, you got a good gap and go yesterday being Friday, of course. This is a retest gap. You have the big double bottom over here. You know, this is kind of the retest of that. So all looks good in my version of the world right now for SPY. Here's your long-term moving averages, right? You're nicely above the 100. Mike says it's a triangle breaking out. It sure looks like that to me, man. We will see, but again, it's not going to make it super easy for us, but I really do like that pop. So that's the SPY. And the other ETFs, you got the Dow Jones. It's okay. Dow Jones, right? You're kind of chopping around, battling the 100. Still looks all right. Here's the Qs. There's no QQQ, and this is going to make new all-time highs pretty soon. I mean, the highest it's ever been is 175.21, and today we're at 174.34. So we got another dollar to go make a new all-time high on the Qs. It was a really good gap on Friday. It was a good continuation today. The challenge is you're going to hear me be very excited about a lot of stocks that we're going to look at today and this week. Just keep in mind, because I'm excited, I would not specifically buy some of them because a lot of them are going to be at all-time highs or the highest they've ever been. When in reality, the buying time was just on some of these, not the Qs necessarily, but when that S-curve came in, right, that buying into weakness, that was really it. So the payout or the payoff was today / Friday for a lot of traders, and keep holding. So we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, on the Qs specifically, you know, again, we will be making new all-time highs here probably this week. And once that occurs, that's when all the newbies are going to hop on, and then we probably do get a little bit more of a pullback and another buying opportunity. But my thought process analysis will be the same as it has been for a while. Buy the dip. IWM breaking out a little bit. So this one did consolidate. This one did rest some for sure. Pretty decent little hammer candle. So we talked about that on Friday. If you're not in on that, then you could consider some type of limit buy on a pullback with really a stop just in this gap on the IWM. But either way, that one looks like to continue higher. It was a really, really good retest of that previous all-time high. And today is Merchant Monday. So here's the retail ETF. And retail today went gangbusters. So big candle on retail, nice close above here. So here's your long-term moving averages on the XRT. That's a really good little spot. Here's the weekly chart. And again, looking at the weekly, it does look like it's going to slowly peel higher overall. So with the daily chart, you know, if the XRT, for those who are playing retail, you know, could pull back really to 47.27 would be pretty ideal. So that's just the previous high. So right about there. See a little bit of an upper shadow here, upper shadow there, resistance there. Today was a retest gap, so you could expect boink, boink, something like that. For anyone who's playing the XRT. And if you're not, no big deal. But if you are, that could be just that dip buying opportunity, that nice little trend, that nice curvature. It's all there. So should be good. Anyway, that's XRT. That's the broader markets. Questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints before I hop into the list from today. All right. Mila says Under Armour is doing its best impression of Applied Optoelectronics. Under Armour, huh? I think I missed one other as well. Under Armour. And let me pull up Slack because someone was mentioning. I think we can get all the stocks done today. It's going to be a busy day. I'll do my best to get through as many as I can. Give me about 4 seconds. I had one trader request kind of at the last moment something. I just want to make sure I get it covered. I think it was SSIS, but I don't remember. SSTI. Okay. So SSTI, I put it on the list. I think that's about it. Okay. Cool. And we got Baidu on the list for tomorrow. All right, sweet. Well, there's tons of things to look at. I know Bob also wants to look at Fossil. I think Fossil's on the list for today. If it's not, I'll throw it on here. Very fast, easy to check out. Let's go look at British Petroleum. There's not tons to talk about on BP. This is one that I did a put sale on, and simple, I just bought it back today. That's the only reason I'm looking at BP. Had a put sale at 41, so we did that, I believe, on this day. I'm pretty sure it was on the 25th. Either the 25th or the 24th. Pretty sure it was the 25th. But that got filled for 44 cents, and I was able to buy back today for 16 cents. So BP, that's it. So that one's gone. We will look at it again on Wednesday. If you want to keep that open for that additional 16 cents, you're more than welcome to. But that was a good little bill payer. As Robert says, BP stands for bill pay. That's right. This has been a fun little stock. So I will do that again if we need to on British Petroleum. If it pulls down and trades back down to 44 or even takes out that low, I will sell that put again. But for you have 2 whole months. I've already captured over 60%. We're right at 60% of the premium. I'm just going to go ahead and buy that back. So that's the only thing to update on BP. Now, BMY, I did post this one in Slack as good as I could have. This one was an interesting move, to say the least. But I love the stop where it was based on the stock price. So the stock price would actually not have gotten hit today by pennies. So whatever stock market hero bought right here, that same exact person bought again, whoever that person is, company, bank, fund, they loaded up. So this morning, when this thing was gapping down, I mentioned that we were trapped on it. So this is some really fantastic analysis, because if you go in here to the daily chart, you'll notice you had a nice white candle here, you had a nice white candle here. Obviously, we were in bullish. So when this thing was gapping down, we were those people that were trapped. And when I posted on Slack, I was like, hey guys, we're trapped. It's looking like it's going to go lower. Go ahead and get out. And if you can, look to day trade at bearish. If you didn't get out in time, worst case scenario, you lost an R. I lost about 0.87 Rs. So it wasn't like, I saved tons of money exiting early. But this was the perfect example of when a gap does exactly what you don't want it to do. This gap would have done the exact opposite had it opened at 53.59. So it would have run up into our target. So bottom line, we lost on Bristol Myers. However, being able to day trade this one, here's the 5-minute chart, and I'll kind of zoom in. So on the 5-minute time frame, right, when I was posting on Slack, we were right about here. We were right there. And so here's the little pennant pattern. Once we broke out that pennant pattern, that's really what I was watching for. I was like, all right, guys, this thing is done. and this flag pattern comes in. And once that flag pattern is here, obviously you don't know that trade's going to work, but you got to take it. I mean, you have to get in somewhere around this pink line with a stop up here. And I did exit right about there for 1R. So actually on BNY, between both trades, made 0.12 Rs. What's up? $56 all day long. So anyway, that's pretty much BNY. I could have held out for a little bit longer, actually. It would have snug it out, but I figured since I was trapped, I simply wanted to make as much back as I, make more than I lost. And that's just the sentiment, right? Using that gap, using that analysis of that candle to my advantage is all that kind of kept me in that trade, or kept me from losing on that particular trade. So that was the first 5-minute chart, that nice little pennant, good breakdown, nice flag, good breakdown. You got another flag right here, good breakdown. So anyway, BNY, we were done with it. We tried it. It was kind of working for a little and then just randomly stopped. So BNY is closed. So we can take that off the list. Okay, next we have BIB. So I was looking at BIB on Friday to see when we were going to see if we're going to play this one bullish, and I mentioned buying the dip or buying the retest on the 100, 200. Let me go to a weekly chart. Yeah, so you still got the 200 right there. I do like this double bottom. I think it's a possibility that this one pops. Let me put it on the list for Wednesday. Really what I want it to do is, it's pretty choppy. You have a gorgeous neckline, a gorgeous retest, all of that. I just want to break out and retest some more. So if you're playing BIB, the Ultra Shares Biotech, I would simply say if you're looking at playing it bullish, it makes sense. I want it to close above that resistance, and then I'm going to buy the dip. So getting in today at the low, I could understand how someone could have taken this at 55, 75. Let's see if she breaks out. Keep it on my list, coming back for more later. Here is Match.com. Match Group. And the reason I was looking at Match Group is because this was kind of an interesting candle. So let's see here. I want something like this on Match Group with a stop maybe right here. So this was a huge candle, and my biggest question that I'm going to try to determine right now is, am I chasing this thing? I don't think I am, but I want to see how many other times I could have gotten into this bullish. Because my plan is, if I can look at something I could have gotten in 3 additional times before, I don't take the trade. So here's your pennant pattern breakout on earnings, nice gap. I could have gotten in here. I could have gotten in here. Maybe I would have done a limit buy off the 100 with a stop down here. That's a possible play. It does look a little on the high side, doesn't it? Okay. I don't think this trade sideways. I need this to trade sideways one more day. I need the pressure to build. I don't mind if I miss this, but the thing is, what we have to consider is it's already gone from $34 to $42. I'm not great at math, but that's $8. 20% on a $34 stock in less than a month. So we're a little behind the bus on this one. We're getting a little exhausted taking this trade. The bulls are getting a little tired. So MTCH, let's see if we can trade sideways a day or two and then pop out of here. Santosh says volume is also coming down. It is. Usually bullish volume is always a little bit less than bearish volume for the most part. But I would say it's relatively average from where it was previously. There was some really good bullish volume coming in here. And that's when he knew she was going to be a little surge monster. So that was a good move back and then. So if this can trade sideways for a little bit and break out, I'm mostly basing the bullish trade on this candle and then the fact that it needs to get retraced a little bit. Neil says, does it have 3 waves? I heard that's the test. The test for which test? I can see 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. Brian says it could be an ABC correction. It could. So it could be just doing this when it rolls right back over. So the thing is, I just don't want to time it inappropriately, and that's why I think the longer it trades sideways, the better chance it will be to pop. So not official, not setting it up yet. I want it to trade sideways 1, maybe even 2 more days. And then if those moving averages can catch up like that, the trend is still bullish on a weekly. So we'll see. Biggest question is, am I realistically going to make 2-3 R's on this trade? And the answer is probably not. My target would really be up here. It's about an R. So the longer it can trade sideways, the better. If not, I'll just pass on it. No big deal. BCEN. Did I type that in wrong? BCEN. BECN. Got it. BECN. Let's pull this bad boy up 2.5% today. Come on, TradingView. You can do it. Roofing Supply Company. I'm just going to look at the weekly chart because I have no idea what it's doing. Okay. So it's pulled down to a support. We have been down here before. Man, look at that 2008 lows. Wow. Yeah, this is a solid support. Beacon Roofing Supply. Fiedler Roofing Company. How did he not think of Fiedler on the roof? It's a very nice double bottom right here. Closed above it, and you got a retest of the neckline on the 25th, on the 29th, and actually also yesterday. This is a little bit of a new white soldier, one white soldier candle. I'm not going to play Beacon Roofing personally for no other particular reason than I can't be in everything, but I like this little pattern. I like that short-term resistance right there. I want to pop above, retest, and then I'd look to play it bullish. It's out of support. Tim says if I were a rich man, then he would hop in right there and buy it. He'd buy everything. All right, man. I do like the fact that it's at that support. That is definitely a bonus. Also at the 200 on a weekly time frame. Cool. So whoever requested that one, looks like this is a spot to be watching that trade. LABU. Similar in a way to the BIB. Man, that was a good pullback. That's the one I wanted to. Shoot. Almost, man, I would have missed it by 52 cents. Obviously, if it takes out this wick, we're going to go a little bit lower. So that was really the pullback today. So what I'll do is lower the entry and the stop and simply say, all right, well, the pullback did occur. I wouldn't have gotten filled anyway. If it takes out this low, it'll go lower. Let me set it up again, come back to it later, and just see what LABU is doing. But that was from Friday's chart. So again, I really like this wave structure because you just had a gorgeous high wave candle. Good break above the 100, right? It retested. A lot of the stocks, there are some similarities with these retests that we've got in the last few days. So that was very, very pretty. Okay, so speaking of Applied Optoelectronics, this was a big winner for many of you. And Applied Optoelectronics was up again today. Up again. So a little bit of an upper shadow. And what we're doing in Applied Optoelectronics, again, we can't forget this has increased almost 100% since April. From here to here. So don't, keep that in mind. Obviously a wave 3. 1, 2, 3. I did sell a smidge too early, and I'm kind of upset about that, but I'll get over it. I mean, I'll remember it forever, but I'll get over it. I do like the location, but we're obviously out of resistance. I would, and I have to wait on this one. We could easily play it again. I know Applied Optoelectronics can run very fast. I would wait for a pullback to at least 43. or just let it trade sideways a tad longer, a day or two. Unless, of course, I don't think this happens, but unless, of course, it gaps above the high of 50.13 tomorrow or one of the next few days. So we will put this on the list because best case scenario, I never say scenario, I always say scenario, is if it trades sideways for a few days and then gap action and then does gap above there, that could be solid. Because again, there's a lot of people shorting here. There's also people selling. And if it does gap, that'd be awesome. The move pretty much based on all this volume down here. And that's why we played it. Just a lot of volume, kind of a basing pattern, making new highs and new lows. Good gap down. It's a good trade. I feel good about it. I feel good. If May weren't such a brutal month, I would have had the stop. Sorry, I would have had the target a little bit higher. May was just flabbergastingly difficult to trade. So Baidu on the list for today, and there are some traders in Baidu. So DJ's in, hooray! Mila's in. There's a few other traders. That was a beautiful, beautiful gap today, and really on Friday. We did trade this one bullish on Friday for a day trade. I just got out of the day trade. Not just now, but I got out on Friday. In order for me to hold a day trade as a swing trade, I have to plan for that in advance. But this was a very nice pennant pattern. Mila asked me on Friday, should she hold? And I said, yes, because that's a very nice gap, right? You're gapping out of the pennant pattern, above moving averages, above the long terms. Very nice. And then you got this gap right here at about 265-ish. That's really the next target. I do think this gap fills. And if you have Baidu, I mean, it's a gorgeous move. Here's the weekly, and your exponential moving averages look keen to continue higher. It's a bullish trend, right? So you got to buy the dip on that one. Here's the monthly chart, and you also got a good gap on a monthly. Today was a very big day in the markets. It is truly a very powerful day. Well, I want to make sure we take that away because you got a gap on a weekly and a monthly and a daily chart. That's pretty incredible. It is rare that that happens. But when it does, I mean, we're going to get follow through on the broad market. Not only just on Baidu, I'm talking about just the whole markets. I mean, we will get follow throughs. Unquestionable. So Baidu, it is a retest gap today, and this is a large candle. I don't have any position in Baidu, but if it did gap up, hopefully it does. But if it gaps up here tomorrow, I would look to sell whatever positions I had and let it come back down and then buy that next dip. So we shall see. Ash says maybe some pullback will occur, right? Yeah, of course. I mean, absolutely. It has to. Nothing goes up straight up. There has to be pullbacks. Of course, has to be. That's the hardest part as a trader, holding through the pullbacks. Here's MDB. So Mongo database, my other big miss. Earnings right around the corner. This was a gorgeous, gorgeous play, and I just dropped the ball on this one. Nice trends, new all-time high. I believe earnings is around the corner. Let me go check. So weird. It's just not in TradingView. I think I've looked at that one before, and it just doesn't. Not TradingView. I'm sorry. Thinkorswim. All right. MongoDB. June 6th. Yep, right around that. So it's tomorrow after close. Sorry, not tomorrow. Wednesday. I can create a quick plan for earnings on this one. Gorgeous support. Gorgeous resistance. Unless it gaps below here. These boxes. Bearish earnings box. Whoa. That's massive. It doesn't need to be that big. Why is it not going sideways? Ash's earnings plan. What is that? I'm working on that as we speak. This exact second in time. All right. So unless we got below here, I can't figure out how this. I think they changed the box. Unless we gap down there, we should be a little. Only bearish if we gapped down there. This will be a bullish. You know, so it's a different box. Oh, it's a tilted one. There you go. Nice. Thanks, Mila. I was like, this is, it's stressing me out. What's going on? So if we gap up, it's almost a certain retest. And if we gap down, the trend will be bullish. So I'll kind of draw a red box over here and then this green box. We'll move this one over. Because really, if it gaps down into this trend and it holds, that trend should hold up pretty well, unless it opens underneath the other red box. So MDB pre-earnings analysis. If MDB gaps down into the red box, that's the only way I see this bearish trend, or sorry, this bullish trend changing. Otherwise, if she gaps down, likely, but not too much, then the bullish trend should stay intact. If MDB gaps up into the red box, buyers will sell for profits, and it will be a solid bullish retest gap. Nice bull trend. What I'm gonna start doing too is just for fun, I want to see if anyone likes this. Maybe it might become more questions than answers. I am going to attempt to find a good arrow. Let me format this. I'm trying to find an arrow. Anytime I do a posting, I'm gonna kind of draw an arrow deciphering how bullish I am or bearish. That box isn't working. Oh, I froze TradingView. TradingView's been hurting recently. I've been putting it through work. Yeah, totally frozen. All right. Oh, wow. The whole session was frozen. All right, let me try this again. Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to do all those again. Man. Maybe it saved it. Let's find out. Yay. All right. Other arrows I could do. Other arrows. Whoa, that's many arrows. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do is, if you see me have a green arrow on the chart, again, this is just something I thought about over this weekend. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Maybe it is helpful, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I'm going to put a green arrow if it's a bullish trend. I'm going to put like an orange sideways arrow if it's a sideways stock, and I'm going to put a red down arrow if it's a bearish trend. Trends are very simple. If you want to make money trading, folks, find a good trend. Because if you trade sideways, you can make money in sideways markets. You just have to have the right timing. It's a lot slower. But if you can find a good bullish trends like this one, you should be okay. It's a lot easier. So I'm going to save drawing template as bull trend. I'm gonna have to write all that again. MDB pre-earnings analysis. Bullish trend. I don't see that changing unless MDB gaps down into the bottom red box. A gap up and buyers and peeps who were buyers will lock in gains. Should be a nice retest gap. Okay, it's pretty much my thoughts. Sorry that took a little bit too long, but all we got is time. My buddy Marks musically said, "Me and my arrow." Yeah. Me and my arrow. I like that arrow. Oh, it does not show as an arrow when I post it? Okay, there we go. Done. MongoDB, solid. We'll come back to that on Thursday as earnings will have happened at that point. Next on the list is, speaking of bullish trends, IQ. IQ, ladies and gentlemen, perfect in every way. Gorgeous. Trying to think of what else needed to talk about on IQ. Most of you sold either today or Friday. It hit 32. So this was a solid trade, good trend, phenomenal wave count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I mean, this was a 3 of 3 of 3. Like it was so obvious. Still is, honestly. So on IQ, most of you short-term traders are out. And at this particular point, this is a high wave candle, indecision candle. If we trade sideways, I'm just letting you all know, IQ can easily go higher. Easily. Do not think this is the top of this chart. All stocks can go higher. Okay? The best way to push yourself is right when you see a trade finally working phenomenally well, just like you want it to, those are the ones to hold. Those are the ones to hold. If you get into a trade and it does exactly what you ask it to do on the exact day and time, those are the ones to hang on to. They're rare. They very rarely happen, but when they do, give it time. Let it actually do its thing. Because all you need is one good trade to make your month or quarter or even year. So you do a lot of research, you plan ahead, and I got to be happy to say, I mean, we got in IQ down here. It was such a beautiful move. So this is solid. I love this. Like definitely tons of volume. I think we trade sideways, and then I think we go higher. So again, this is a 1, 2, 3 count, and of that 3, you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just correct for 3 or 4 days, and then she keeps going, I think. Right? Just don't lose all the profits that you have made or do make. That's the key. Keep your profits, protect them. Don't be reckless. Ash says, can you still get in on a pullback? Yeah. Yep. This pink little arrow indicating this is what I want it to do is just trade sideways 2 or 3 days, and then we'll get in again. Just depending on what IQ does. But don't short this one, at least not yet. We'll come back to it. Plenty of time. Just buy the dip. This was a phenomenal example, ladies and gentlemen, of old resistance becoming new support. So when we're talking about buying the bounce, buying the retest, you got to burn this into your brain, right? When you have a very clear resistance and the stock is going to pull back and retest it and you're buying there. I had a coaching student ask me recently, how do you know it's going to bounce? And the answer is, you don't. You never know if it's going to bounce or not, ever. So if you don't know that, you can still get into the trade Just mitigate your risk. Brian says, if you don't know, risk small. You can. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, unless you can tell the future, you never know on any trade, ever, if it's going to work or not. But if you can't, if you're uncomfortable buying the dip on a trade when it's in a bullish trend, I mean, buying down at this level, remember the term confirmation. I dislike that term. I made a good video on it. Confirmation to me is if you can define and confirm the trend, that's all you need to know. From there, it's just all about timing. How long do you wait? When do you get in? That's really it. So for me in this situation, this was one of the best trades really of 2018 on IQ. So congrats, team. Well done. Brian's still in with a $30 covered call for June. And I know my buddy Santosh is in. A few other traders are in. So congrats on IQ. All you need is one of them. And that was one of them. PE, Parsley Energy. So some of the energy's gapping down, rolling down a little bit more. What's Parsley up to? I think most energies come down a little bit lower. And here's a previous resistance. 2418 could be a decent target on Parsley. Parsley? Probably not Parsley. Parsley. I'm going to put this on the list for Wednesday and just kind of come back to it. Obviously, Wednesday's Energy Wednesday. This was the rollover right here. I mean, if you were going to take the trade bearish, which I did not, this is all hindsight, but you know, here's your support. Here's your bullish gap and go right there. So you get that hammer of Thor, bullish candle there, bullish candle here, bullish candle here. It obviously shouldn't break that. Once it does, this candle right here, I mean, you're not going to be bullish. So breaks that candle, retest the next day, has a retest gap. This is the retest. And for me to have gotten in bearish, once I saw this beautiful shooting star candle, entry below the low of that white candle, stop above that wick, I would have exited some right where we are here for about an R, and I'll keep tabs on the rest. Realistically, I would like to see it trade sideways and then break down again. So we're going to come back to this one on Wednesday. Next on the list is Hua. This is another one that I crushed. Crush. These newer Chinese IPO stocks. Oh, man. Oh, boy. So this was great. Because, again, if you're looking at the trend, this is like back trading to me. This is why I only back trade with candles and volume. I love IPOs. I usually wait a week or so after they come out, and then I play them based on the hourly or the daily. So we looked at this one a few times. Phenomenal bullish move. Nice retest. Stair-step pattern. Trend is bullish. There's the play right there. Solid. HUYA, printing money. Here's the hourly time frame too. This is one that we did speak about. Here's your exponential moving averages, right? So again, when you're looking for a bullish trade, or sorry, when you're looking for a bullish trends, it's gonna be the key. Mike says, I'd question any company that names itself after a food garnish. So Cilantro Incorporated, Mike is saying he would not invest in. We now know Mike's trading plan. No Lemon Pepper LLC. So most of these newer Chinese IPO stocks, ladies and gentlemen, appear to be in a wave 3. So HUA, here is, what was the other one that was really popular? BILI. These are all the IPOs. So here are the recent IPOs. So Bilibili, also in a wave 3. I mean, look at this gap and go right here on the 24th on earnings. That was phenomenal. So we're going to try to set this one up again. I think all of these could be bought on a pullback. I think they're in a wave 3. So do some homework, but do not miss these again. And just because I'm excited about it and I like the movement does not also mean that they're going to work. I'll set the trade up, right? I never know if a trade's going to work or not. You can't worry about it. That's all that. So when we set a trade like this and you're asking, okay, how do you know if it's going to buy, how do you know if it's going to dip? Number one, I don't. Number two, even if it does dip, I don't know if it's going to bounce. The cool part is, though, that's how bullish trends work. There are people who are just sitting out here waiting to buy these things. And if that looks good by tomorrow, we'll just make that official on BILI. I think there's a lot of moves left out there for these things. JD.com, beautiful gap. Nice move. What I love about this is almost exactly what I said was going to happen. You had the low of this candle, and JD made just by pennies a lower low, just to make sure it trapped all the bulls. Check out where it traded down to, the 100 simple on a weekly chart. So this is a really nice move. I dig it immensely. And most of the premium right now is gone for any kind of put sales or anything, but there was some really good premium last week for 34, 33, 32. Scott McKay said he missed his entry by 2 pennies. Oh, man. Brutal. Was it a day trade or swing trade or what? That is rough, my man. Swing. Ugh. Bad. Sorry, my man. It was a gap and go on Friday. Did have that little morning star pattern. However, I think this could be, I think we'd still plan on getting in some type of pullback on JD. I probably won't make this one official because it will be a little bit of a longer term play. I don't track those on the worksheets, but if you're playing JD.com, again, doesn't mean it's going to work. But if you're looking at playing it, some sort of pullback, something like this, is how you could look to play it. 37.21 by, you can even do 34.21 if you want to keep your exact risk the same. My buddy Adam is in calls, bleeped January call options. He got into those not too long ago. So I like the candle. It's a good move. JD.com looking saucy. A lot of you got my thoughts on BZUN. And BZUN, I'm going to wait to see if it actually rotates before hitting the target. It probably does not. This is a very strong gap. The stock will continue higher, and I'm looking for the next retest to get in bullish again on BZUN. 64.81 is the next July target. So David, Thomas, a few others who are in there. Once it hits that, you could probably do an $80 August or September covered call. But try to make as much on this one as you can. For those who are in the shares, or just close your eyes and forget you own them, because this trend looks real pretty. Very nice. BZUN. With a trend like this, if you're playing the daily, I know you can't be in everything. The hourly chart, right? Hourly chart, you did pull back to the 10 and the 20. I'd really like it more off the 50. But in the same instance, for those who are in the trade, the hourly can really help you just stay in longer. So in this situation, stay bullish. If and when she retraces, buy the dip. I'm going to start turning on the jets a little bit. Activision Blizzard. What do I want on Activision Blizzard? I want a retest of this candle with a stop right here. That's what I was looking at. It looks nice. I think I'm going to wait on it. There's a few other traders in Activision. I'm just not one of those for no particular reason other than I can't be in everything. I like this double bottom. It's similar to the market. That's the thing. You had a really nice little pennant looking thing. Shooting star candle on Thursday. It broke out. So if you're in Activision bullish, stay in. And I figure what the best case scenario would be a retest into here and then a bounce out of there. Trend looking strong. Trend on fleek. Next on the list is Goldman Sachs, ticker symbol GS. And Goldman Sachs on the daily chart. I got a bull put spread. Here's Mr. Squiggles putting in work. Putting in work, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this pattern. So here's the rotation higher. Here's the pullback. Here's the bounce. Here's another rotation higher, right to the exact hour. And I like this little curvature. So expect Goldman Sachs to go a little bit higher, most likely. I am in a bull put spread on that one, and I do like the gaps. So if you're looking at playing Goldman Sachs, bullish off the 100 makes the most sense to me as it fills that gap. But still in the bull put spread, thumbs up. Don't see any issues on it right now. Here's the newest IPO article that came out from Ashley and myself, Real Life Trading, Enriching Lives, for free. This article should have made you hundreds, thousands, tens of hundreds, dollars, 50s, 20s, something. My buddy Mikey made 5 R's on this one. That's a gorgeous gap. So in the article, I mentioned that one of two things would happen. Either it rotates back down, and this is where I buy it, or it breaks out. That was it. If you missed that article, check your email inbox. And here it is as well on the website. So this was a few days ago. Remember, right here, IPO. Got a lot of good articles, a lot of good posts on here. This was May 31st. Yep, so last week. And the analysis down here, forming a very nice pennant, so on and so forth, daily chart, all that good stuff. Anyway, a lot of good comments on the article. Feeling good, looking good, trading good, on fire. These IPOs, these Chinese companies right now did not think that they would work out the way they are. But if you're in that one, stay in. AVEO. Very sideways. This is one that Ash is in, and it's going to slowly keep creeping down probably to the 100. Best case scenario, this is a pennant pattern and it breaks out bullish. That's best case. Worst case is it breaks down again and trades down into the 100, which is about $1.83. So that's really all I have on AVEO. Not too much is happening on this one. Here's the monthly time frame, and it's trying. There's a lot of volume on it, but it is a pharmaceutical company. It's just going to take its time. It's going to be really boring. This one could trade just like it's doing right now for the next 2 to 3 years, but eventually, I think it slowly snails higher. CVRR. Bob, I want to know if he should hold on to it. Good volume. Wow. Nice trend. So you're just trying to call the top on this one, Bob. I hear you, man. It's getting close, brother. It's just all about time frame on this one. I mean, that's a beautiful double bottom. Nice wave. This is a wave 3. 3 of 3. So you got a 1, 2, 3 wave. 1, 2, 3. Trading into its previous IPO support level. It really just depends. I think you said it pays pretty good dividends. I would at least sell a covered call if you have enough shares, which I think you probably do. Otherwise, though, I mean, the trend looks nice. This is a nice retest. It had a gap up, retested beautifully, made a new high. It's probably hard to hold, but I would try to hold it, or at least do a covered call. I think she has room to go, my man. Back to the monthly. I mean, it'll rest here for a little bit, but after that wave 4 comes in, trading up to $34.80 seems easy. Could just take a few more months for that to occur. Shopify. The reason I have Shopify on the list, Mr. Stephen King said he bought back some of his put sales on Shopify. So I'm going to take his name off the list. And I know Ash and a few other traders, I believe, are still in Shopify. Put sales 115. So Matt might get called away his shares, even though he would not cry about it. June 29th is still pretty far away. Scott McKay bought his put sales back as well. My target's still 169.44. So I think Shopify will slowly keep grinding higher. Obviously, this is a close above an all-time high. Very similar to many other stocks right now. Crushing it. This was the pullback. And now if you're looking at getting back in, you're going to have to plan for that next pullback. Steven says he's still in the January 105s, but out of the October. Gotcha. Well, I'm sure he'll be buying those back soon. That theta is slowly dwindling away. So here's the wave count, and so far looks good. So far, looks good. Steven says tomorrow. All right, awesome. Thanks for that update. I'm going to add MELI on the list too. I'm going to start flying a little bit faster because I have something exactly at 5 that I need to do. But love the trend, buy the dip. That's going to be most things. Most things are going to be buy the dip. 3M, Paige, you want to look at this one? And I like 3M. I like a little bit of a double bottom kind of feel. I like the gap up. We played this one bullish with a weekly options newsletter not too long ago, and I kind of want to do it again. So again, you got a gap on a weekly. You got a high wave candle. Here's the hourly chart. So 3M looking pretty different than the broader market. If you're playing options or something, this could be a potential weekly options newsletter trade. But I'm going to do a little bit of an aggressive setup. Not super aggressive. It's not that many shares. But on the hourly time frame, it is a retest gap, but we're above the 20. What's the high of this candle? 202.11. All right. What I wanted to do is pretty much this and then that. So we're going to come back to 3M tomorrow. It does look nice. I'm watching it for a bullish move as of now. Here's QD. QD looking pretty cute. Trend, volume looking good. Had a relatively decent close today. Am I trying to pick the bottom on this one? A little bit. But with that candle, it's hard not to try. Here's the template. And if you go to the RSI indicator, relative strength, we do have higher lows. There's a little bit of divergence there on QD. So I'm going to set up this trade to buy on a pullback. And we're not going to give it long to trigger, and we're also not going to give it long to work if it does trigger. So this is going to be a new official swing setup on QD for 2018, QD, and looking at buying 884 with a stop loss at 753. You can do shares or options, totally up to you, but I'm going to do the shares, and it's honestly based on a retest gap. Open because it's not triggered yet, and we're going to throw that in there on QD. Next on the list is Snapchat, SNAP. A few people looking at Snapchat to go bullish, and believe it or not, I'm going to have to go with them on that. This is going to be an aggressive trade. We're going to either figure out very quickly or we're going to figure out fast if we're right or wrong. I talked about this one in the stock review at one point. It had this little triangle pattern like that. This is a retest gap. I think the gap's going to fill. I know their earnings were terrible, but they just got absolutely wrecked. And that's a huge, huge move down. And it made a new low. I just like the daily chart. So again, I'm not going to give this one a whole heap of time to play out. It's 1196. Sorry, let me do 1195 by 1105. 90 cents of risk. Okay. Now again, you by no means have to take this trade. If you want, you can. If you don't want, you don't have to. But I'd like the gap. That's the thing is this thing, it is gapping relatively decently. And I like playing stuff that gaps. You know, so this is a retest gap, and it did retest. It's a good trade. So we're seeing if it's going to retest again. And I'm going to leave that open probably for a week or two, and then we'll see how long I keep it open after that. Here's Home Depot. I have a few real life traders in Home Depot, and it did pop out of this small consolidation. Had a really good bullish candle here. This is a bullish engulfing candle. Had an inside day candle the very next day. A little bit of an upper shadow. But if you go back just 2 days, right, like this, I'm sorry, even one more day past that. So here's how some traders were setting it up. You're looking at it, right? Here's the long-term, long-term moving average. You're bouncing off of it. You got a bullish engulfing candle. Dividends and earnings are done. The market's going higher. You have an inside candle. There's a lot of upper wicks right here. And that's really what brings us to today. So for those in the Home Depot, I like it. Moving averages look good. Let it dip. You could retest. Here's what Mr. Squiggles thinks she does. And Target 207.60 if you can hold another month or so. CRON, Cronus Group. Looks like it's working on breaking out, but you got the 100 simple right in front of your face. Here's the weekly. This is the one that Bob said he's been in for a little bit and still looks good, my friends. I can't remember exactly what he said about that specific trade. Looks like it's breaking above a channel. Got it. I do have to agree with you on that, Bob. She's working on breaking out. I like the higher lows. Let's come back and look at this one on Thursday and see if we get any chance to play anything on that one. Budweiser, took some BUD. Finally had a little bit of a positive move today. I like the gap. It gaps all the time, but it is a good gap on the weekly. And as a reminder, you're still off of the 100 on a monthly chart. So I'm not adding any shares on Budweiser down here yet, but when this covered call expires, I might buy another 3 or 10 shares or something of Budweiser down here. Just had a buy low, sell high with the 100. They pay dividends. You know how they make money. Some traders put some shares down here. So I like it, honestly, at this level. Budweiser, to me, is a longer-term play. So come October, it'll be 2 years for me on Budweiser. So, dividend paying, they're doing a lot of covered calls. In the red on it right now, but I love it at the monthly chart, and let's see if she bounces. Under Armour has been flying recently, up 6%. So Under Armour, I've been talking about this one recently, and it's breaking out of this accumulation pattern. It just hit the 100 simple on a weekly. So obviously not the time to buy. This looks like an obvious double bottom and a very pretty 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, wave 3. Here's the resistance. Let it rest a little bit. Let it trade sideways, and then let it eventually pop out higher. Here's Fossil. I'll put SSTI on the list for Wednesday, Mila. Fossil, I know my buddy Bob is in this one, and he's really, really excited about that. So Bob, keep it up. Very happy for you. And then MELI is also up a little bit today. There's a few traders with some put sales. Dean did buy back his put sale today. So he said he sold it for $8 and he bought it back for $5. So just an update for anyone who has MELI. You got to love this lower shadow. You really have to like the candle today. Some traders might get put, but there's still 2 weeks left. Time will tell, but I do like those put sales on MELI. Here's the weekly chart, and I love Ashes down here at the 250. A good looking spot. We'll see what happens, but just letting you all know that Dean did buy back those put sales. Sweet. All right. Tomorrow, everyone's favorite day, Tech Giant Tuesday. I already got the list of what we're looking at. Feel free to add some on here. We got HubSpot. We got NVIDIA, MELI, again, KWeb, Chinese ETF, eBay, GameStop, LRCX, Snapchat, Baidu, Microsoft, Blue Apron, Cisco, AMD, APPN, Apple, Netflix, Google, Baba, Facebook, and that looks good. Cool deal. All right, folks, I'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. If you have any questions, let me know. But thanks so much for being Real Life Traders. You are incredible. And until then, remember, love life, and trade it. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.